Here we go. All right.
Taking a tumble, but now to the spot for his second.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third episode of 45 for Life. I'm so glad to be here with everyone. Before Sorry, we have a small problem. There you go. Sorry, it ran. Okay. It's good to have you here. Before we start with our guest, let us talk a little bit about quality. You see, the quality systems are all about order and coherence. When we help our clients build a quality system and get certified against it, we are actually helping them prepare a sustainable system for their company. This will reflect on their operations, employees, stakeholders, products, and clients. But is that all it takes to provide quality products and services? Not quite. There's actually the human factor that we always discuss. At InSpeed Global, when we say people deserve better quality, we mean it. Let's take a small example into consideration. Let us assume that we are auditing and certifying a chain of restaurants against ISO 22000. That is Food Safety Management System. Of course, the clauses related to this standard has to ensure the safety, cleanliness, hygiene, and best practice for everything. At what temperature the food is stored, how is it served, how the cleaning process takes place, what to use and what not to use, of course. All this helps the chain provide good, healthy food that would reflect on the experience of the clients and the staff themselves. Actually, being part of a successful chain of restaurants is a delicious meal. But what about the wellness of the chefs, the people serving the food, the management itself? How's their temperature maintained? Are they boiling from the inside? Are they so cold that they don't care about what's happening around them? Are their thoughts hygiene? Is it clean? Are they happy? How fresh does it feel for them to wake up and go to work 5, 6, or even 7 days a week? Who's actually ensuring that the mental and the psychological standard that the staff are living is healthy? Well, thank God there are professionals that take care of that. And since we at InSpeed Global believe in the quality of the human, we've decided to bring out this show for you So aside from helping people reach the quality standards needed on a corporate level, we will actually share on this show tips and hacks on how to have a better quality in life in general and at work, as well as when it comes to your own well-being. I'm very glad to welcome today on this third episode, Mrs. Jana El Osta, a wellness and hypnotherapist coach. Hello, Jana. How are you? Thank you for being here.
Hello, thank you for inviting me, Saleh. I'm very excited for this session today.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Can you introduce yourself to our viewers, please?
Yes, so my name is Jana. I'm a health and wellness coach. I'm also a hypnotherapist, and I worked for 10 years in corporate. So I completely understand, what Saleh was talking about, working in a company and having to realize that, okay, I also need to take care of myself, not only of work. And so now my purpose is really to support people who are busy, hardworking people in corporates, in companies, everyday people, and living their best life ever by taking care of their health, their wellness, and their mindset.
Nice, interesting. So what we're discussing here is habits. Everyone has had a hectic 2021, hectic 2020, and probably 2019. I mean, the last time you actually sat down and planned for a year was probably 2018 before COVID hit. And then life became so complicated because of COVID. And then we put all plans on the side, most of us at least, until eventually we realized, okay, things are calming down a little bit. We might actually get back to planning for another year, whether on a corporate level or on a personal level. But there's always the whole thing about, you know what, I'm going to have a long checklist of things to do, things to accomplish, new things to learn. And then slowly, January, February, by March, probably this is going into the drawers, and we forget about this. So is this normal? How can you sustain a good checklist of plans for 2022? What should we start with?
So this is very normal for all of us. We all pass through this motivation at the beginning of the year to say, I'm going to change my life. I'm going to go to the gym and lose the weight and start exercising and meditating and do all the things that I dream of. But then it falls off because life becomes busy, and life is busy, and life will never be less busy, right? COVID definitely taught us a lot, but work is always going to be busy and more demanding. And the more we see that technology is growing in the world, the more we know that life is only going to get busier. We're going to have more screens, more technology, more things to learn, more things to keep up with, courses to take. It's only going to get harder. I'm going to start with this.
That's reality.
The reality is life is only getting harder, and it becomes harder for us to focus on ourselves. The reality is that it's hard. It's not easy. Okay. But how to maintain it, the number one thing that I love to use as a mindset shift is, rather than thinking of what are the things that I want to achieve, so instead of saying, I want to lose weight and exercise and meditate and learn a new course, like have this stiff, scary plan, start by thinking, who do I want to become? It's much more exciting. I'll give you an example. So rather than me saying, next year, there are 10 new things that I want to do with my lifestyle, I might actually do it, but then it becomes harder because I forget why. Why did I want to do these things? So rather start by thinking, why? Who do I want to become? And when I know who as a person I want to become, it's very hard to forget. And it becomes much more motivating for me to stick to habits, because I'm doing the habits in order to become someone that I want to become. Does that make sense?
So you're linking habits to an end result, which is who I want to be, not what I want to achieve.
Exactly. So instead of thinking, instead of it being an outcome-based mentality, it's an identity-based reality, which is everything that I do is to support Jana, me, becoming this person. Now, for me to become this Jana, the dream, if I close my eyes, and you can do it, if you close your eyes and dream of who do you want to become at the end of 2022, in a year from now, and you envision this person and you feel them and you see them, then you start to think, how does this person behave? Does this person go to the gym? Does this person smoke? Does this person do this or that? And then it becomes easier to become that person because you know who you want to become. So it's an identity-based outcome.
Okay. So it's a different approach than we just say, I want to do this, this, and that. I want to be that.
Exactly.
And being that is done through ABC.
Exactly. So the first recommendation is, before saying, what do I want to achieve in 2022, start to think, what's the dream? What's your dream? What kind of person in 5 years do you want to become? If you don't have an answer to that, it will be very hard for you to maintain any habit because you have no purpose. So start by thinking, in 5 years or 2 years or 5 years or 10 years, who do I want to be as a person? When you know so well who you want to be and you believe in it, habits become easier to maintain.
Okay. So even sticking or committing to habits has to be through reminding yourself of the person you would like to be or would love to be or you're trying to reach.
Exactly. Thank you very much. So because I work with different people, and I find that people who don't have a vision find it very hard to maintain habits. Why? Because they forget along the way, why am I doing this? Why is it important? But when you have a so clear vision, it becomes so attractive. I'm going to give a personal example. I wanted to, 10 years ago, I was not a yogi and a coach. No, I was, a young person who's partying and smoking and unhealthy. And I don't want to say this is bad, but I was not on the right track.
Okay.
Now, what made me shift is thinking, I want to become a yoga teacher. I want to work with people and support communities. I want to help others. Now, how can someone help others if they are smoking and this and that? Then it became easier for me to say, I'm done with this. I no longer want to do this. It's not supporting who I want to become.
Okay.
So habits become easier when you know who you want to become. And when you have a vision for your life, vision of where do you want you to see yourself in 2022. And Saleh, because you started by talking about, work and business, it's very much in work and in business. When you plan for the year, you don't start by just putting the goals. You put the vision first, right?
Okay. True.
Right? You start to say, where is the business? Where do we see the business in 5 years? What kind of business it is? What is the mission and the vision of the business? What do we care about? And then
you build your strategy, and then you put the actions that will fulfill the strategy.
Exactly. So it's kind of similar.
Okay. So first, knowing yourself and knowing where you want to be.
Right.
And then you start building habits for that. So building habits is as simple as saying, I want to do that, or is there a guideline for building habits?
Oh, there's a lot of guidelines. I'm happy to go through that. Yeah, I think that's the purpose.
Let's start with let's say, the main, like the structure, the infrastructure. How do you actually build an infrastructure for habits?
Yeah, I like that word, infrastructure. So in anything, the first step is always awareness. Okay, so for me, so we spoke about the vision. That's your first structure. Have your vision. Who do I want to be as a person? Then you sit and you say, okay, now it's time for me to start putting a structure to my year. So the first step is awareness. Now, awareness, you want to first become aware of how did your past year go, right? So evaluate the past. So we don't want to be stuck in the past, but at least evaluate what's been working for me, what hasn't been working, what do I like about my life, what don't I like so much. So starting with a bit of evaluation is always a good place to start before starting to build the habits, okay?
This is normal. It's normal I think some people are not used to this. Saying, am I really going to just sit down and ask myself
Yes.
what I did or what I didn't do? Am I happy with what I did? It might sound crazy to some people, but I think, I don't know, I'm gonna improvise here. You're the expert here, but I think the only thing we can reply to that when the sound comes in your head is, okay, so stay where you are if you're happy.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Exactly. How come we accept that we sit and do this evaluation for work, but you find it weird? And I agree with you. Many people find it new and different to sit and do it for your personal life. If you don't want to put the effort to do a self-evaluation, then you will just walk through life without growth, because you will just be a victim of just walking through life, walking without stopping. But step number one to positive change is to stop and evaluate. To evaluate, you have to bring a pen and paper and actually write what is working, what is not working. And based on that, you start to kind of have a picture of how is your life going. And you can evaluate the top areas: career, relationships, social life, physical health, mental health, emotional health, family. So you put the top pillars for yourself. That's a whole different session that so we can go through. But the idea is to look at the big picture and start an evaluation. Now, I'm going to give you an easy way to do this as well with habits. So what you could do is create a list of all your current habits. Okay. So it's like an inventory, right? All of your habits from the moment you wake up in the morning, what you do, how you have breakfast, the first things you do at work, all of the habits for your day. And then label each habit as either positive or negative or neutral. Now, positive are the habits that are supporting you in towards the vision that you know, the vision of who you want to become. So if my vision is to become a yoga teacher, as an example, and I have a habit there that is meditation, then that's great. That's positive, right? But if I have a habit that says, I don't know, what can I say? Late night parties. I'm not saying late night partying is wrong, but if it's like daily late night partying, right, that I have as a habit, then that's negative. That's not really supporting me in being a yogi. Okay. So this is a great place to start, is create a list of all your habits and label them as positive, negative, or neutral. Neutral is, brushing your teeth, or, whatever that's like just mundane things that you have to do. Okay. And from there, you start to become aware of, okay, this is serving me, this is not serving me.
Okay. I think everyone has enough, like a certain, this is normal, like a finite amount of energy. And sometimes you're consuming it in the more negative things. And by the time you want to do positive things, you're all, you're out of energy, you're out of motivation, because you technically spent your energy doing things with negative outcomes that actually pushed you away from the target.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have 8 hours to focus, and then you need to finish something 8 hours later, and then you spend 4 hours, I don't know, scrolling on social media, and then you say, okay, now I want to focus on the remaining 4 hours, but you're already drained. Like your brain is drained, your social, your situation is drained.
Yeah, but this is where this is where knowing that you are choosing to spend time on social media. You are choosing to spend 8 hours at work. You are choosing what to do in the morning. If you do a quick math, if you only wake up 2 hours earlier every day, do you know how much time you will save? You will gain 1 month per year if you only wake up 2 hours earlier every day.
Wow.
I'm not sure if it's 1 hour even. Do the math.
Yeah.
Forgot if it's maybe even it's 1 hour earlier, but you actually gain 1 month a year. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So the mindset of time, I don't have time, time is not enough. How can I create the new habits? It's a mindset and it's a choice. There's no such thing. You have infinite time. Okay, but it's your choice when you wake up, when you sleep, what do you do in the morning, what do you do in the evening, what do you do in your break time, how do you spend your lunch time. These are all your choices, but time is infinite and abundant, and there's so much you can do. There's people
Okay.
doing multiple businesses at the same time and living their dream, so it's possible for you as well. That's what I can tell you.
And I guess that's driven by knowing your purpose. So if you are wasting your time, but somehow in the back of your head you want to be somewhere else, it's just repurposing that needs to be done. So you need to sit
Exactly.
with yourself again and reevaluate why are you just, as you said, just walking by life, you know, why aren't you actually in control of stopping and moving left or right, and you're just going with the flow.
Exactly. Every day, remind yourself of what your vision is, who you want to be as a person, and what are the habits which you should know by doing the inventory that will support you to be that vision. Now, if you are accepting that there are habits that are stopping you from living your dream, because there are habits like that, then
Okay,
you are only to blame.
it's your
There's no
fault.
one else to blame,
Mm.
right? If I'm gonna accept that every day I wake up and I just wake up at 10 a.m. and jump to work and don't put effort into focusing on myself, then that's my choice and I'm gonna bear the consequences in my future. So everything you do today is impacting who you are tomorrow, and every day you have a choice to change that and reshape the person you're gonna become in the future.
Okay, all right. You have something called the 3 R's.
All right. So
Yes.
let's talk about, so we spoke about, the vision. We spoke about you creating an inventory so you become aware of your habits and become aware of what's serving you and what's not serving you. And now let's talk about how you can create a new habit. Okay. So let's
Okay.
say you did the vision. Good job. You know who you want to become. You are aware of what's serving me and what's not, and what you want to add. So if I want to be a yoga teacher, I'm using this as an example.
Okay.
Then I want to say, okay, so I need to practice yoga every single day. That's a new habit that I need. So, what new habits you need to add to support that vision of yourself? And now, how can you create new habits, right? So, there are a few things. I'm going to give you 4 pillars
Okay.
to kind of think about or write them down if
Okay.
that's going to serve you. And number one, for any habit, because what is a habit? A habit really is a behavior that you do it so many times that it becomes automatic. It just
Okay.
becomes, you're not even thinking about it. It's just part of life, right?
Okay.
And the number one to create any habit is to make it obvious. Now, what does that mean?
For yourself.
Obvious for yourself,
Okay.
obvious. So I'll give you an example of making something obvious. Let's say, what's a new habit, Saleh, that you want to create?
Waking up earlier.
Waking up earlier. Okay, great. So let's say waking up earlier. Now, to make it obvious, we need to take this habit, waking up earlier, and make it smart. What does it mean? So you need to make it very clear. So what time would you want to wake up?
6:30.
6:30, great. So now it's more specific. Waking up at 6:30 every day?
Except for weekends.
Every day except for weekends.
Yeah.
Great. That's very specific now. And what is the first thing you would do when you wake up?
Usually pray, and then I need to do something before I just start my day. So I need um, either to learn something, because it's always at night when I say, I wanted to watch that video about this thing, but I feel so drained. So
Okay.
I've always wondered if I would watch, I don't know, 20 minutes of something specific that has to do with my work in the morning. Maybe that will stick in. I,
Great.
I have a feeling it will work, but I
Okay.
haven't tried it.
So you would wake up to do something personal for your own well-being. Great.
Yeah.
So now you took a habit, which is wake up early, and you made it so specific. I want to wake up every day except on the weekends at 6:30 a.m. in the morning so I can give time for my personal well-being. So now when I took a habit that's very general, wake up early, and I made it smart. No, I'm waking up every day 6:30 a.m. to do this.
For
So
that
now your
purpose.
mind starts to find it as something that's possible. Because when you say, I'm going to wake up early, your mind's going to be like, okay, 10 a.m., 9?
Okay.
Why am I waking up early? Is it important? How am I going to feel? It's going to forget it. So
Okay.
the first step is to make it obvious, which means put a time, put a location, put a behavior, put an activity, and write it as a statement. I really do that. And I recommend you to do that. For any new habit to create, say, I will. I'm going to give another example. Meditation. You know, many people
Okay.
want to meditate and find it very hard. Instead of saying, I will start meditating, okay, now listen to this statement instead. I will start meditating every day for 5 minutes using the Headspace application right before bed. So
Okay.
specific. There's no way I will forget. My mind is not going to play games. Oh, when am I going to meditate? Before bed. For how long? For 5 minutes. How am I going to do it? I have an app. It's called Headspace. So you're going to make it so specific that your mind cannot play games. It's so obvious. Okay.
Okay.
So that's very important. When you want to create a habit, you have to make it obvious, clear, and smart, very specific. Location, time, activity, duration. If it's like something that takes time, how long would you do it for? Very obvious, very specific. Clear?
Clear.
Okay, that's number 1. I'm checking here my notes. Another tip that you can do, so you've done the inventory. So if you've done the inventory of, remember we did at the beginning, you wrote all the habits down. Another tip on how you can add a new habit, let's say meditation, is to stack it on an existing habit.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, like your example, or no, your example doesn't work here. But let's say the meditation example, if I want to meditate, then I would say I already exercise every day, already since a year. Okay. So moving forward, whenever I finish exercise, I will do a 5-minute meditation.
Okay.
So I linked a new habit to an old habit that you have.
And
This
that you're
makes-
used to. Like it's
Exactly.
so easy for you to exercise now because you're
Exactly.
used to it. So it's just, adding 5 minutes to that exercise in the form of meditation.
Exactly. So instead of saying I'm doing a new habit and it's like so new, no, every time I exercise, at the end, I spent 5 minutes doing deep
Meditating.
breathing and meditation. So now
Okay.
meditation suddenly became specific because it's after exercise, I do my meditation. It's not like when do you meditate, specific. And it's linked to something I already do. So it means it's easier to create it. It's not
Okay.
I'm creating, like you said, like when do I, the time and there's no time. No, it's already linked and it's obvious. It's obvious now. Okay. So that's a very nice one. It's called habit stacking. Stack a new habit to an old
So
habit.
an old good one.
An old good one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think your subconscious here plays a role. So when you
Oh, yes.
dictate all these things to the subconscious, I'm going to wake up early at 6:30. I'm going to meditate 5 minutes every time I exercise. It automatically reminds you.
Exactly. And that's why I'm saying write it, because when you actually write, it's like you're doing a contract with yourself. You're committing to yourself. Every day after exercise for 5 minutes, your mind becomes like a programming. Your mind is a computer, it's a
Okay.
programming. So program in your mind that, hey, when you exercise for 5 minutes, you will also meditate. It's a positive programming.
Okay.
So exactly what you said. Thank you. Yes, your subconscious mind, this is what you're doing here. You're training it with an easy tip, easy tool by stacking and by making it a positive, simple habit.
Right.
Another, we are still in the category of making it obvious. And another way to make it obvious is also if, let's say, for examples, you want to eat healthy, right?
Okay.
So you want to also make healthy food, for example, obvious. Now, if I want to eat healthy and on my shelf, I have cornflakes and chocolates and sweets, then that's not supporting me. You want to make the things that you want obvious. So you want to change your environment. I'll give an example. I like to do yoga a lot. And sometimes it's also, a habit, or sometimes I'm not in the mood.
Okay.
So what I do is I keep my mat outside all the time. It's never rolled. It's always open.
Remind us.
Exactly. So it's obvious. My environment is telling me, come do yoga.
Okay.
Right? My environment is inviting me to do what I love. Like with prayer, like I'm sure also with the carpet, with the prayer carpet, right? If it's hidden in the closet, it's also more effort to say,
Sure.
I need to bring it. Whereas it's always available, always visible, it's also easier to be reminded to pray. It's just an example of make your environment obvious to support your habit. If you want to,
Especially when it's a new one, especially when
exactly,
before you get it anchored in your system,
exactly,
just remind
exactly,
yourself. Like
100%.
learning a new language. Like we're
Yeah,
always struggling here with learning Turkish. We get excited sometimes a couple of months and then we stop and then we say, okay, I need to get back to Turkish learning. So I think putting the book outside on your desk
exactly,
might
100%.
actually remind you more.
Exactly. Or for example, yeah, eating healthy, buy fruits, buy vegetables and put them in a nice basket outside.
Actually, yes. Yeah,
Make it
that's
visible, right? I
it's
want to eat
actually made a big difference. The other day, I think three
exactly.
weeks ago, we bought a nice basket and we actually started putting it outside. And now when I want a snack and I'm hungry, I just grab an apple or fruit or something. Yeah, it actually makes a difference.
Exactly. So make it obvious. This is the top number one pillar. Make it obvious, make it easy, make it accessible.
Accessible.
You can reach it. You don't need to search for it. The timing is, when you will do it, how you will do it. Everything is ready for you. You're just gonna do
Nice.
it. Okay.
Yes.
By the way, it's now if you want, and we might take too long. I told you I talk
It's
a lot.
fine. it's it's interesting enough. Come on, it's fine.
But
I'm even ready to break the rules here and
no,
cross some
no,
45 minutes, but
we're gonna
we still have time. No worries.
we'll keep it on time. But I want to also make a note. If you want to break a habit, so like smoking,
That's
you want
important.
to be thinking of the opposite. So,
Okay.
so instead of making it obvious, I want to make it invisible, right? I want
Okay.
to hide the cigarettes. I want to
Mm,
make it difficult to go on a cigarette break. I want to not have lighters available. I'm giving an example. So
okay.
with breaking habits, you always want to be thinking of the opposite. Instead of obvious, I want it to be invisible. I want to remove it from my environment. Honestly, I had to unfriend many people to
That
change a
that
lot of
actually makes
habits in my
okay.
life. Because for a long time, I had friends who were always reminding me this is the first R. It's a big R. You can always remember. With every habit, there is a reminder.
Okay.
Every habit, there's a reminder. If you smoke, there's always a reminder. I'm stressed, cigarette. There's a break, cigarette. Those friends, we smoke together, So I had to remove a group of people to say, you know what, you're influencing me in a way that's not supporting my vision, right? So R, you need to have a reminder that is positive. And if you have a reminder that's not positive, think of how you need to remove it or decrease it.
Okay.
So let's talk about the second key pillar, which is making it attractive, right?
Worth it.
So exactly, you need to make it worth it. And not number one thing, which I'm going to recommend to you, I really find it personally very useful, is to have a community of people who are doing something similar so that what you want to do becomes normal. So,
Okay.
I don't know, we all have some of these friends who sometimes don't support positive things. I'll give an example. Really? You're going to go to the gym again? You just went yesterday. Let's go out instead. Now, I'm
Okay.
not
Yeah.
saying they're bad friends, right? But, maybe
They're
they're,
not on the same page.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
just on a different vision, right?
Yeah.
So, what I want is I want people at a community who's going to make me feel that it's so normal to go to the gym every single day. It's
Yeah.
so normal. It's the normal. They're not going to
Okay.
make me feel like, really? No, come on. Enough with that stuff. No, I want people who are going to make me feel that my new habit is the norm. It's completely
Okay.
acceptable. So you need to find people who are on the same page.
All right.
It changed my life. Like really being in communities who are doing healthy things together um, can really upgrade everything in your life because you feel so supported.
Nice.
So find a community that's gonna drive you there. Make it attractive. Like, yes, let's
Okay.
go to the gym together.
Okay.
And okay, what else? Yeah, a nice tip is have a motivation ritual. A motivation ritual is kind of every time you want to do something that's difficult, before you do it, do
something
something
nice.
that is nice, exactly, and easy, right? So for example, if a new habit is every time in the morning I want to wake up and journal, and I find journaling to be very hard. Journaling is just sitting and writing and self-reflecting. I find it to be very hard. So I'm not going to wake up and the first thing I'm going to journal and hate
Okay.
that I'm actually doing it. I'm going to start by saying I love having a good breakfast. So I'm going to prepare that good breakfast and then I'm going to journal.
Okay.
So start by making the journaling attractive by saying, but I'm going to start with a good breakfast and then 5 minutes of journaling. So make it attractive.
Associated with a good,
Exactly.
yeah.
Have a community that's going to support you, and always start with something that you love and then do what you need to do. But reward yourself with something that you love. All right. So this is making it attractive. And then the third key thing I would say is make it easy. Make it
Okay. How
easy.
can you make something that you don't like easy?
So exactly. So how you make it easy is number one is reduce friction. What does it mean, reduce friction? I'm going to take a common habit, which is going to the gym or signing up to, exercise. And yeah, actually, that's why many people sign up to the gym but never
They
go.
don't go. Yeah.
Right. So how to make it easy, it's very linked to what we spoke about at the beginning, is number one, I'm going to give an example. So I would buy an outfit, right? But I don't need to think, what do I want to wear? I'm making it easy. I'm putting the outfit outside, so it's visible. It's easy for me to wake up and just take it with me. And I'm going to go to the gym only once a week for the first
To
month.
start with. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And only for 15 minutes. So
Wow.
I've made it so easy that I'm almost going to laugh at myself at some point and I'm going to start doing more. So you're going to make it so easy, the least amount of time. Start small. There's actually a rule, it's called the 2 minutes rule. Even challenge yourself, only do it for 2 minutes. If it's going to the gym, I know this is going to sound crazy, but maybe the first few days, you're only going to go, look around, and leave. I know it sounds crazy, but trust me, it's better than going. It's better than not. Many people will not go. So just go, walk inside the gym, and leave. So easy.
True.
It's okay. Do it a few times. The second time, you're going to go and you're going to stand on the treadmill. You will not turn the treadmill on. Just stand on it. Breathe.
Actually, I like going to the gym, but I don't like the treadmill. So I'm not saying I'm a good let's say student, but technically I started with 3 to 4 minutes on the treadmill, and then I go to bodybuilding. Eventually, it reached 15 minutes and 17 minutes on the treadmill because I just started with 3, 4, 5, and then every time, okay, let's put some more music and until this song is done. So that's another 4 minutes.
Love that.
And now I'm used to at least 10 up to 15 or 17, which is what I wanted to do from day one, but I couldn't.
Yeah, exactly. So make it easy. 2 minutes rule. I love that. If you want to meditate every morning, then wake up and meditate for 2 minutes. If you want to go for a walk every day, go for a 2-minute walk around your house and come back. Keep it simple, easy. Easy is also, like I said, prepare things ahead of time. If I want to eat healthy and every day I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to eat? So difficult. Then you're not going to eat healthy. You're going to say, forget it. I'm just going to order something, right? So to make it easy, you're going to prepare ahead of time. You're going to set yourself up for a good week. You're going to take time to prepare. I love to prepare on the weekend. So prepare not only for food, prepare any habit for the week. I'm going to prepare a book in my calendar, the days on which I will go to the gym so that I make it easy. It's booked. I know when I will go. I'm going to prepare my clothes ahead of time for the whole 3 days. I'm going to maybe even call the instructor, a coach, and book their time already so that it's easy. They will call me and follow up with me. Commitment. So it's so easy. So the week comes and I don't need to think of what do I do, when do I go, what should I wear, who do I go with. Everything is prepared. The food is cut. the gym is ready, my clothes are ready, my mat is open on the floor, my environment is supporting me, it's so easy.
Okay,
It's so
because
easy. Like
it's
it's,
pretty prepared for you. You just have to do it,
you just have to like
You know,
do it.
exactly.
But
The
there's no
last step.
friction. There's no
Okay.
friction. Friction is always going to stop you. Friction of what, where, when,
How?
questions, I don't know. All of that's going to stop you. So you want to make sure everything is answered ahead of time so that it's so easy. And if you want to quit a habit, make it difficult,
Okay.
right? You're going to make it difficult. You're going to increase the friction if you want to quit a habit.
Make it very complicated to actually do it again.
Exactly. And remind yourself of why don't you want to do it. So the last pillar is to make it satisfying. I know it sounds very similar. Like, how do you make it satisfying? Make it satisfying is the main thing is have a tracker. Have a tracker. So, I mean, again, we go back to work. Most of us here and your listeners are probably working people, right? Working people, you have a job, and I'm sure you have a to-do list. And I'm sure you check things when you're done. And I'm sure that when you're done, you reward yourself and you go to your boss and you say, yeah, I did it. Come see, come, let me show you what I did. So you have a whole process of saying, I'm tracking it. I'm done. I did the first milestone, the second milestone, the big goal is achieved. You need to have your milestones and you need to track it and reward yourself. Now, how you do that can be very different from one person to the other. Some people like me, I'm a bit annoying with these things. I really like to have like a weekly tracker, as in like at the beginning of the week, I have my work to-do list and I have my personal to-do list 3 times to the gym.
That's something
Daily.
nice.
Exactly.
Because we usually put one list on December 31st and then we forget about it and then it's just work lists. So we actually have to do personal lists. We owe it to ourselves.
Exactly. Life is not work. And guess what? Work will become 100% more enjoyable when you actually have your personal list. Work will become happier, more. It will become something that you enjoy more because you're actually taking care of yourself. So track your personal progress weekly. Every week on the weekend, sit down with yourself and say, what did I do? How can I do it better next week? Right? We're always growing. There's no such thing as perfection. It's progress over perfection. So every week evaluating and putting new goals for your personal life for the new week so that it becomes satisfying. Because if you forget to reward yourself, you lose track of, again, why am I doing this? Right?
Exactly.
Stay connected to that and never miss twice. So
never miss twice. Okay.
Never miss twice. So this is like, write it somewhere. Never miss twice. We all have days that it's like, I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood. I don't want to do this. It's done. Okay, fine. But don't miss again.
Twice. Okay.
Right? Don't miss it twice. Just remember, every day is a new opportunity to focus on your dreams and vision. And your habits are what are going to help you create your dreams and vision in life. It's as simple as that. Many people think, I want to live the dream. I want to achieve my dreams. Well, how are you going to achieve your dreams if you can't focus?
Stick to habits. Yeah.
Stick to your habits and dreams become so easy.
Nice.
So I'm going to just make a quick summary.
Wrap up.
Pillars. The 4 pillars are, so number 1, we said, make it obvious, right? Create that list, become aware, make it obvious for yourself. Stack good habits with other new habits with good habits. Make your environment appealing. Number 2, make it attractive, right? Join a community, join a support system, make your habit normal. It's the normal thing that everyone wants to do, and have a motivational ritual. Number 3, make it easy. It's so easy, just 2 minutes. I'm just going to do it for 2 minutes. It's already prepared. I have the clothes, I have the fruits, everything is cut. It's so easy. I'm just going to do it. Nice. And number 4, make it satisfying. Have a tracker, use reinforcement, and reward yourself every time you do it. So if I could, share with you those 3 letters as a nice reminder. Number 1, for every habit, there's always a reminder, right? So you always need a reminder, right? To meditate, I'm going to have a reminder before. When I exercise, then I meditate. After I brush my teeth, I read 3 minutes my book. So there's always a reminder, linking habits together. Number 2, it's the R for routine. So you have a routine that actually is helpful, a routine that's supporting you. And
Okay.
number three is the reward. Always reward yourself. And the reward can be good job. You're just
Yeah.
saying, yes, I did it. Always reward yourself and remind yourself that you're doing a great job.
Lovely. Thank
Yeah,
you very much.
most
These-
welcome.
Those are the 3 R's. So this is what we've heard from Jana. We need to actually put personal goals, just like we put corporate goals. We need to actually have a personal checklist and commit to it, just like we put it for work on daily or weekly or monthly basis. The way to actually stick to your habits is by knowing why, which is the person you'd love to be. Give yourself a round of applause once you actually fulfill something, a tap on the back. Always put reminders around, look for a community or environment that helps you stick to that. And it's okay to start low or start slow, actually, with a couple of minutes. Just start somewhere, remove the friction, and this is where you actually build habits that will build a better you at a personal level, which will definitely reflect at work, regardless of what you do, regardless if you're happy at work or you're not happy at work. If you're happy with yourself, you can actually do better things at work until you can actually work on that as well.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So this is summarizing today's episode as much as I could. I'll allow a couple of questions to see. If anyone has a question, I'll check. Last time I had questions on Facebook, but I couldn't catch them. If anyone has questions, please post them either on Facebook Live or here on Zoom until we actually conclude this. So again,
Yeah, you're welcome to ask any questions or reach out after if anything comes up for you.
thank you for whoever is watching. We really appreciate the fact that we're having a growing community that is actually enjoying this, because at the end of the day, we all need a tip or two to improve our quality of lives, just like we at InSpeed improve the quality of work and the quality of products and the quality of systems. As we said, we need to also look for the quality of our lives as well. And this is where things become more coherent, things become more easy to maintain and easy to manage. Let me just check one more time before I close this. Support team, guys, do we have anything? 1 second. Chat. And guys, feel free to unmute yourself. You're muted upon entry, but you can always unmute yourself. Yes, you are allowed.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you're now allowed to unmute yourselves. Sorry, there was a
No worries.
problem. Okay, then. I hope there isn't any questions somewhere that I didn't see. Last time we missed a couple of questions. Anyways, we'll get to.
If there is, you can always send them to me and I'm
Yes,
happy to answer.
I'll post them on the video itself that's on Facebook.
Yeah, of course. I'm always here to support you and do reach out, get support that you need. And yeah.
Hopefully. All right, then. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Jana, for all the beautiful tips. I think we all needed this before starting the new year. I wish everyone a happy new year for you, for everyone that's watching, for your family, for our families. And we'll meet again next month with new tips on improving the quality of life, because we need that before improving the quality of work. Thank you again, Jana. Thanks for everyone for being here, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much, Saleh.
Thank you, Jana.
Take care.
Take care. You too.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye.